All right, here we are with the 2022-2023 Topps Finest UEFA review. This is Breaking the Law. I'm Breaking the Law here with SoccerCardsHQ. Why don't you take us through this review on your website?
All right, everybody. This is my official review. If you haven't read it yet, this is going to be very helpful for you because you can just watch this short video instead. I realize a lot of people don't. A lot of people like to watch videos, so I'm going to start trying to do this with BTL, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. All right, let's get to the basics. There's about 7,400 cases of finest this year, which is up from about 5,700 cases last year, which is probably definitely not needed. 7,400 cases for a product like this is just way, way too many. The good news is you are probably going to get about six base parallels per master hobby box. For those not familiar, finest is too many boxes of 6 packs each. Um, each mini box has an auto, so they did up the amount of parallels per box this year. So that's a good thing. The number of color parallels per base card is at 1,750, which is obviously too many, but that's how they up the print runs and keep everybody somewhat happy with the amount of numbered cards that they can hit. Uh, One thing that is people are really chasing, they really like the man. The man's going to fall two per case. Be careful when you're buying these, especially at the beginning, the base cards, because there are about 800 of them per base card. So I know a lot of people are pretty stoked on the Ronaldo and the Sporting kit, which are cool cards. Don't get me wrong, but there's 800 of them. What we've seen from case hits in the past is like if there's anything over about 150 of them, that's probably way too many. This has 800, which is obviously way too many. Um, Also, there is Cristiano Ronaldo, and the Sporting for prize footballers. That's even much worse for the base regular ones. There's about 11,000 plus of those base. So definitely do not run out and get those. As far as the rookies, it's mostly the rookies that we've seen in other Topps products. They did introduce a few new rookies, but there's nobody that really got me excited. There's a couple like wingers, but they're like 23 years old. I don't think you're going to do very well in this hobby if you're buying 23-year-old rookies. Maybe for a flip you can get them, but that's just not something that excites me. Um, Start off the review with what can we say about 2022-23 Topps Finest that we haven't said about countless other top soccer card sets this year. And I'm obviously kidding, but this kind of falls in line with the other products. There's way too much of it printed for the current demand. The case hits, as I've mentioned, are too plentiful, so they're not valued as case hits. The good rookies have way too many cards and other sets to have a huge impact. There's some cool legend autos, but we've seen these guys,
Yeah.
and there's like a ton of them at this point where each one that hits the market, the value goes down. So there's just overprinting there. And then finally, they came out with cool dual autos that get people excited because it's not something that Topps did before this year mostly. And they did put together some really good combos. But this if we keep seeing the same combos over and over, then that just dilutes those products. Like there's another Holland, De Bruyne in
Yeah.
this one. There's another Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, which they'll always be great cards. But even those, like there's only so many people that can just pay these huge values for them. And so you know My hope is next year they really switch up the combos. We won't know until next year comes out. Finest is probably going to be the last major UEFA product for the 22-23 season, thankfully, considering we just started the new year. So there is that's going to have little to do with these. I do. So the two case hits, like I mentioned, are the Man, which is actually you get 2 per case, and Prize Footballer Fusions. Prize Footballer Fusions have been a case hit since 2019-20 Finest. I'm one of the biggest proponents of Finest Fusions. I own a ton of Finest Fusions. I think that they're underappreciated cards, especially when you compare them to the Panini case hits like Color Blast. But Topps has kind of ruined a good thing. I won't say ruined, but they didn't do themselves any favor with the design, which looks a lot like last year's design. And when I asked people on Twitter what they thought about it, the word that I kept getting over and over was diarrhea, which you never want to be. Yeah. You never want the card design to be described as diarrhea or gas or poop emoji, and so that's kind of where we are, with those. Even with their numbered copies, there's 382 numbered. Well, they're not all numbered. Excuse me. There's 382 fusions for each card. They did tell us this year how many of each of the unnumbered there was. I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and number them, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. So there's 382 this year. That's up about 100 over last year, which is way too many, and up over about 300, a little over 300 from the very first variation of this product back in 2019-20. If you're looking back at cards that might stand the test of time, go look back at 1920 fusions. There's roughly 67 of all the colors. Now that's the kind of scarcity that can live in this market. 382, I think, is just way too many.
Too many. Too many.
Yeah. So that's just the way it is. And for the Man, there's 704 numbered versions of each of those cards, which again, I think is too many. Maybe the Sporting Ronaldo can withstand that, just because it's a card that essentially we've never seen before. But just be careful.
Yeah.
Don't run out and buy one. Unless if it's one of the lower numbered ones. As far as the autos, Topps did something different this year. They have numbered every single insert auto, and some of them all the way up to 500. Which I asked for feedback on this, and most people were like, yeah, we like everything numbered. We like knowing how many there are. I kind of feel the same way. I don't mind the transparency. I think it's going to be a shock to some people when they see just how many cards there are. What do you think, BTL? Do you like every auto being numbered?
I mean, if you're selling cards, a numbered card is going to sell better than an unnumbered. I mean, look at your short print stuff. Even the super short print, you do great work on the print runs on some of the super short prints out of Chrome and Sapphire, or Chrome specifically, and it's like those cards never sell for what their numbered counterparts sell for. Doesn't matter if it's numbered to 500. People want to see that serial number.
Yeah, it's unnumbered cards. What I think may happen, and this is going to take a lot of time, but I think one day when we're well down the line, people are going to look back at pop reports and they're going to be like, oh, there's only 10 of this card on the pop report, and then maybe the unnumbered won't matter, or maybe it won't matter as much. But I think we're a long, long way from that. And we're a
Mm-hmm.
lot of education away from that, especially. Um, they're getting back to the duels. You can expect to hit a duel one in roughly every like 35 boxes. I think it came out to like 35.7 exactly or something around there.
Yeah.
So, that's about like one in four and a half
Four and a half
cases. So
cases.
they're
Yeah.
definitely not going to be easy. Um, I calculated. I think only one of the combos uh, only has a superfractor. I don't know which that is. If I had to guess, I'm
Messy.
going with the Messi Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the other nine should have the full five. There's actually two of fives, uh, and so the rest of them should have at least those. So you'll have a chance to pick up some cool cards of those. And then to wrap it up, I was like, you know, tops of the 200, which I thought was a bit ridiculous because even on release, people on like eBay and stuff were already down in like the 170 range. So 200 was way too high, but this product there is BTL and I just looked on like a secondary dealer market. They're down to like 140.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I think in that range you're getting to the point where we looked it up. You can basically get a case if you can get it at 140 or a case for say $1,200. I would much rather have two cases of this than a case of 22, 23 Topps Chrome. I
Agree.
know Chrome
Yeah.
has a huge, but you're talking about way more autos. You're talking about way more colored cards. Or
Yeah.
actually, it would be the same amount of colored cards. Yeah, sorry,
Well,
I just had to
two,
do the quick math.
two, two,
Um,
two cases though. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
But you're gonna
oh
have
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah,
two cases. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Two
Yeah,
X.
yeah, one case is the same. Yeah, so you're getting double the number, and so I think that there's going to be. I think if there's a product, I'll put it like this: there's a ton of this stuff, but I do think if there's a product out of the 2022-23 tops line, release line that gets to a value point that probably makes it somewhat worth it to rip, it's probably going to be this product because it's not as loved as some of the others, and it just doesn't, it's last, like people are a little
Yeah.
exhausted right now, to be
Exhausted.
honest, like.
Exhausted.
So
We're all exhausted.
yeah,
Yeah. It's been
yeah,
a hell of a
you
run.
know
It's been a hell of a run these past couple months.
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just there's product out right now. Especially, I like Tops. I like a lot of stuff that Tops does with soccer card product, but I think that what Panini did with Select was much smarter than what Tops has done with a lot of their products because they ended up releasing, I think, I forget what, but maybe a little over 4,000 cases when you combined all of the Select
Mm-hmm.
lines, which seems like, I mean, which is still way much less than the 7,000, 7,400 of this. But 4,000 is probably too much, being honest, for where we're at. But when they broke it up and there was like, Serie A and La Liga at like 500-600 cases, it gets people excited. Like it's just treated way different than one product where there's so many cases that sit. And so like I'm sure you kind of see it. You break a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it too. You know.
Haven't broken any finest yet. I'm not as I confessed to you, I'm not the biggest fan of the base. It reminds me too much of my elementary school Trapper Keeper, but
Saved by the Bell. I call it the Saved
Saved
by
by
the Bell background.
the Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper. But yeah, the breaks have been crazy. It's been a heck of a run for Topps. Select is still my product of the year. I had a great time with Select. I love buying the singles. I love being in the breaks, all the different products. Thankfully, Panini seems like they killed off Mosaic for the year, so we won't get inundated with I don't think 4 more sets
No.
from them, thankfully.
Yeah.
The thing about the value, just to go back to that, like if you could get into a case of this, I think, even if I'm not the biggest fan, from a value perspective, 8 boxes per case, you're talking 16 autos per case. If you can basically get 2 cases of this for the price of a Chrome case, you're talking 20 more autos, right? So, I mean, and essentially the checklists have a lot of the same autos anyway. So like you're just getting more of a volume chance to hit the big duel. And it makes a lot of sense to me. The thing I wanted to ask you about is, do you know, we've seen that the Rivaldo Ronaldinho is a redemption, which you noted. Do we think that's because of Ronaldinho? And I haven't seen, even though he's on that like Stadium Club checklist, I haven't seen any of his autos come out of that.
No comment. I do have some information.
Breaking news alert.
I do think that Topps will have Ronaldinho autos. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the best way I can say it.
There you go, folks. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot with that, but I was, you've seen Rivaldo sign all the time, right? Like his autos and everything. So you just assume that those are kicking around somewhere, those stickers.
Well, there's a lawsuit involving Ronaldinho autos right now. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I know that that Ronaldinho is signing cards for Topps. I don't know if they're waiting for that to be over. I don't have that information.
Interesting.
So I don't know if it's like a wait and see on that lawsuit. And
I mean, obviously, I think
involved.
The Dino auto becomes almost like Zidane when they brought him in Select, even though the initial stickers were upside down. It's going to be something that people want. It's something we haven't had, unless you're a big Leaf guy. We haven't had it. So for me, that would be, and I spent a fair amount of money chasing those autos in Stadium Club. Was it Stadium Club? And then the R9 auto as well. I since just bought one of those instead of continuing to chase it in breaks.
Yeah, look, the only thing that it just makes much. That's literally what all of this comes down to. It's supply and demand, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the world, or the commerce part of this world operates on. And it was like Holland autos were great, and then Panini just made so many of them. Look, I'm a big Holland auto collector, but I only collect his on card stuff. That's just the personal opinion. But if these companies are going to keep running these print runs to the moon, then it's pretty short sighted in my opinion. But these companies have never been known to be super long sighted. They get these hot streaks and then they just try to fully monetize it without, I think, realizing that if you
mark clientele,
people can make a little bit of money, then they're going to stick around because there's a lot of the population that wants to do that. Mm-hmm. And so, but they just want to make it all because they see these booms come and they,
they're a business.
So, but
I want two questions for you.
I think I think that just to wrap it up, I do think Finest, if you start seeing it going down in that 125-ish range, it makes a lot of sense if you're someone that likes to open wax, mm-hmm. From a value perspective. So
2 quick questions, then we'll get out of here. Final Grail card, right? Last Erling Haaland Grail card.
Final Grail, yeah.
Hidden gems.
I didn't put it in there. I'm going to actually update it.
Hidden gems. I heard Zlatan and somebody else.
I did see the Zlatan. Yeah, there are hidden gems. I do need to update this from the original. There's going to be 100 100 of the Grail, like there's been 100 of every single other of the
Mm-hmm.
Grail, and there are hidden gems. We don't know who all of them are, but we do know they're in there.
Awesome. All right. Well, it looks fun. Thanks for doing it.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you. This has been the review of 2022-2023 Topps Finest UEFA. Thank you.